Don't
What's
fuck
going
it.
on? Yeah, thank you, fellas.
You're in limbo.
Treason, treason, bang him in the tower. Reason, reason, cause I own the power. Treason, treason, make them all understand. Reason, reason, cause I own the fucking land.
All right, Limbo podcast fans and haters especially, I am here with one of my favorite bands on Curtain Call Records right now, A Fitting Revenge, Ledwing and Aaron. What are you guys up to tonight?
Hey, nothing, just relaxing and got done putting together a gaming PC for my brother.
Nice. That's sick. What now you can tell me the specs. I'll understand. It's fine.
Oh, okay. All right. It's an i5 10600K, 500 gig NVMe drive, Z490 motherboard, and a couple bits and bobs. He's got a 1070 in it now, but I'm sure
That's
that'll
to go. Little bit. Yeah, he's going to upgrade that.
yeah.
Jesus Christ. How long did that take you to do?
Longer than I thought it would. Like 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Nice. That's crazy. Good for you. I respect guys that can do that shit. I don't know. I couldn't. I'd rather pay someone to do it. I couldn't do it myself. I'd fucking wreck something.
You just follow the directions, and there's tiny direction font, but other than that, it's not too bad.
You got all the tiny pieces to work with. I've got these big fucking mitts. I just wouldn't be able to.
We've had that conversation before. That's I'll be sitting there trying to mess with something on the drum set or whatever. We need Ledwing's nimble hands to get it.
your delicate hands, yeah.
Yeah, Deadpool baby hands.
Deadpool baby hand. I love that. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, in your guys' mind, what would the most fitting revenge be for someone if you were to exact vengeance on someone? What would be the most fitting revenge?
That's a thinker. It would be probably like taking something that they kind of did towards you and just, I don't know, turning it around on them like in a much, much bigger scheme and letting them kind of feel the weight and the consequences of what they've done.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, an inappropriate toucher getting inappropriately touched to death.
There you go. Yeah, I like that. I like that too. They're both good answers. There's no wrong answers here, that's for sure. So, how long have you guys been around? In the band, I mean, not like alive.
So band started back in 2012, I believe. So it's about 8 years. I joined in 2014, so I've been there for 6 of those 8. Ledwing / Edwin started back in 2012.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, April Fool's Day of 2012.
That's a hell of an April Fool's Day.
Yeah, how creating that has been.
Well, you guys are no joke though. So,
well, it's funny because like every so often things will happen to us, and we just it's almost like an episode of Metalocalypse sometimes. Just these really weird things. I don't know. So the April Fool's Day thing really does fit.
That's awesome. I love it. Just a series of weird events follow you everywhere you go.
Yep.
Yeah. If you have at some point, you let me know if you have the time for this, but we'll give you the ice rink story.
Let's do it, brother. I've got time right now. Let's go for it. Let's do it.
Aaron, I'll let you do it.
All right. So we got an invite from somebody a while ago to he was putting on an event at an ice rink, and we're like, oh man, that should be huge, So it's like, okay, there's going to be a ton of bands, ton of people,
vendors, tattoo artists, the whole nine.
Nice.
Yeah, it was supposed to be just like a big event and everything. So we get the call and they say, all right, well, it's gonna be like kind of an all-day thing. So you guys are gonna go on kind of early, can you go on at like 2 or something like that? We're like, yeah, sure, all right, fine. So we show up. It is completely empty. There is just nobody there. And then they're like, you know what? We're still waiting for people to show up. Can you maybe come back? I don't know. It was like 8 p.m. or something like that.
What
I'm
the
like,
fuck? That's a hell of a window.
okay. I mean, luckily it was like, just like a 10-minute drive away. So we're like, all right, I guess we'll just go home and with that. So I'm like, all right, fine. So I go home and I'm walking the dog, and then I get a phone call, and this is like 2 hours later. Like, all right, guys, we need you back here. We're ready to go. I'm like, okay. We show up. There's still absolutely nobody there. There wasn't even a stage or anything. It was just we were flat on the cement underneath the ice, and it was just so we played to basically nobody, and then it was just super awkward. So yeah, ice rink show never happened.
Yeah, it was like a small arena. So it's not like we played to nobody
In like a small room.
dive.
Yeah.
This was like a 5,000 person arena easily.
I was going to say Rochester. That's hockey town. You got a hockey team there, or your AAA hockey and all that shit, right? So
Right. Yeah, so it was like half the size of that, which is still freaking huge.
yeah. It just feels emptier the less people you have in a place like that.
It's true. Same
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was the whole event just a gigantic tank then? Like nobody fucking came?
Nothing happened. It was, we left and we said, okay, please, we're not doing this again.
They had roller derby people come, and they were gonna play a game. They just like
Sweet. And even they didn't really want to do anything. They kind of felt the same way, I think.
they just like skated around, and oh god,
Did they at least beat the shit out of each other while you guys were playing?
no, they didn't even do that.
Come on.
Yeah,
They could have at least done that and videotape, and you could have made like a sweet music video out of it or something. Would have been worth your while.
Yeah.
no, not even that. See, this is the shit that keeps you up at night. When
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, why? But then I don't know. Sometimes we get some breaks. So,
Let's hear a good story. What's a positive thing that's happened?
Let's see. I mean, working with Curtain Call has been great. We're getting some more exposure. We've had some turnover in the band, but we're kind of at a point where things are really like the musical writing and that has just taken a huge positive turn on this album. So we're really excited to be doing that. I think we're more confident in putting our music out there. We played probably one of our biggest shows last year. It was like it's kind of a festival show, but there was a lot of people there. There was a few hundred people there, and it was just the energy was really, really great. So yeah, things are overall moving in the right direction.
That's
I'm
awesome.
pretty confident in saying that, like, I think we're the kind of band that is tailor-made for playing in front of a solid group of people, like a lot of people. It's something about us just works out. I don't think every band is good for that. Some bands you really got to be like right in front of them. Like, I don't know, maybe that's like more of a punk thing. But for us, like, and I won't say exactly, but we've got things lined up that are really gonna work for that amount of people that I think we should play in front of.
Awesome. Awesome. So what's the plan after all this COVID shit's over and you guys can start doing shows again?
Yeah, I mean, that's
the plan.
Yeah.
Working with the people over at Curtain Call to just try and get on some bigger festivals and stuff like that. Now that we're getting the music out a little bit, we're hoping to kind of target areas where it's doing well, and just hope to get some people in the doors.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah. Getting the album done too, which
Yes.
is very, very important.
Yeah.
And very, very tedious, but it's worth it. I mean, the two songs we've put out so far, the feedback has been just extraordinary. It's been great. Like, your mom's gonna like it, obviously, but there's been people that I just have never met in my entire life. I don't know them from a hole in a wall, and they're just like on Instagram, hey, listen to your stuff. I just wanted to tell you, blah, 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 blah. That means the world to us.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool. That's a good feeling, eh? You put all your work into something and it finally starts to pay off.
Yeah, no, this feels right. I mean, this album, it's going to be huge. The first song we put out, The Inquisition, it's doing well and getting good feedback. And then
The King Machine.
Yeah, that's the next big one that's come out, and all feedback's been positive. And I'm telling you, start to finish, there's it's just a solid album.
So how far into the album are you guys right now?
Recording or writing?
Yeah, recording.
We got 4 songs mastered and done, so that's done. Gonna be 11 tracks. We have drums and bass for an additional
5.
5.
Okay.
Yeah, and then guitars for 1 more. So we're overall probably about a third, maybe a little bit further.
How many songs are you hoping for on that?
11.
Oh, 11. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's awesome.
Honestly, I would say we're getting very close to half.
We got the calculator.
Yeah. Yeah, the COVID definitely didn't help.
Yeah.
And then of course, finding a guitar player to fill it, to join us that's going to work. And we did a bunch with recording this album in a different way than we did last time. So
Okay.
just kind of feeling that stuff out. Previously we went to a studio, we just did it the normal way. You show up at the studio, you pay, and you record.
Mhm.
But what we found was that for the music we're doing, and you probably heard this with King Machine, there's so much layering, and there's so much, you stop right on a dime here and spin around right here, that there's no way we could afford to put that much time in the studio. I'd have to sell my house. So what we moved to was having a setup where we can write and track here and then have that direct pipeline out to our mixer.
Okay.
Jack Daniels, he's with a band called War of Ages. Then he sends it out to get mastered. John Douglas, and he's done like Megadeth, Amon Amarth.
A couple small no-name bands that nobody's heard of, really. I mean,
Right.
Mega what?
It's been so smooth though. I mean, it's like as soon as we're done with the tracking, I mean, we just send it out to the studio, and he's from day one. I mean, it's like he just turns it around. He knows exactly the sound. He can just get it right. Like,
That's awesome. And you know what? Like you said, if you guys can have that pipeline where you're not paying out the ass to get it to that point, to get him to master it, if you can pretty much get it right there before you send it to him, that's smart. That's smart. Wow.
Yeah, there's a whole production pipeline that we pretty much had to plan out. Well, I think I'm happy with it. I will put this out there for any bands that are listening. I highly recommend, guys, do this. If you're working with Guitar Pro, have some place online that's like your master repository. If you have to look up source control, do it, but just do that, because I've worked with other bands and been in bands where there's like competing versions, and shit just falls apart and people don't write things down. Please write things down. Please write things down. All right, I'm done. Sorry.
That's good. That's important. You gotta keep track of your shit, especially for the music you guys are making. It's not simple crap, like you said. Having to find a guitar player that works with you, because it's not like you're sitting there doing just fucking 4-chord punk songs, For
the next album, but yeah.
Dude, why not? That'd be funny.
I don't know.
Who would you guys say, for people who haven't listened yet, who would you say your guys' influences are? Well, I guess not for people who haven't listened yet, but who were some of your bigger influences to get you into music in the first place, even?
So, some of my bigger ones, I was big Shadows Fall fan. They're one of my favorites, and their drummer, particularly Jason Bittner. I draw from a lot of his stuff. I'm also a huge Diecast fan. They were like a big metalcore.
My friend, Day of Reckoning was one of my favorite albums of all time.
It is so heavy, and the recording job on it, it's just stuck with me.
That's perfect.
So different. It's so like raw, and yeah, I love that album, and I loved what was it, Internal Revolution. so much. Yeah, they're really great. So those are some of my biggest
Diecast. That's a name you don't fucking hear enough of anymore at all.
and their
Dude.
drummer, well, Jason Costa. They're like the two Jasons. They're great.
That fucking Day of Reckoning's a goddamn masterpiece. I honestly quit listening to them after the singer they had for Day of Reckoning left because that guy's a monster. But musically, they're still solid as fuck. But that singer made the whole package for me. Holy fuck.
I'm still waiting for a new album. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's hard to even bother when you have something like Day of Reckoning. It's like, where do you go from there? You've done it. Just fucking pack it in.
Yeah, that was a masterpiece.
Move on to something else. Maybe start a bakery.
Yeah, exactly. Take all the money you got from that and start a bakery. Right?
Hardcore cupcakes. Yeah.
Hardcore cupcakes. Circle Pit Deli. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever you want to do. How about you, Ledwing? Who are some of your favorites, man?
So the bands that got me into guitar playing, I started in 2007.
Okay.
Were, Iron Maiden, Metallica, Avenged Sevenfold, right there. Boom. I couldn't not pick up a guitar. Mm-hmm. But as far as the influences that go into Fitting Revenge, at least from the stuff I write, man, it's all over the place. Ghost, Nile, Black Tongue, Necrophagous, Deadmau5, Nine Inch Nails, Metallica, of course, Septic Flesh, all over the place.
All over the place. Lots of death metal in there. That's good. Nile.
YouTube shit in there. It's
whatever. That's sick. That's good. That's a hell of a mix, man. I like it.
There's a lot of different stuff too that just goes into our songs. You'll hear all kinds of different influences. I mean, there's a lot of thrash stuff. There's
Well, like you said, you're talking about metalcore. Like I thought, like obviously Diecast makes sense, but when I heard it, I was like, well, this sounds like kind of like All That Remains, and I loved All That Remains.
Another great band.
I don't mean that to be like an insult, but when I heard it, I was like, fuck, man, like the first All That Remains album was This Darkened Heart. That was fucking fantastic.
Dude, that was one of my favorites. I love that one.
Yeah, phenomenal. So that's cool.
The album has some. It has some Acacia Strain elements.
Love Acacia Strain
in there, like little tiny bits.
Fucking love Acacia Strain.
Die Art is Murder, and then we go to some Testament thrashy parts, and my thought anyways is like, why limit ourselves to one specific thing? I guess it's okay. Like if you want to be the kind of band that is a thrash standard or a hardcore standard, whatever it might be, hey, that's great.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But if you're listing all those influences, you guys are going to want to branch out and see where it goes from there. Like that's really cool. That's really cool. Why would you stay in one thing if you can do so much more than just one thing?
Yeah, our bass player Grant's a big EDM fan, so
interesting.
Brings in that rhythmic thing.
Yeah, good syncopation, and he's big with like the synth programming and stuff like that too.
Okay, that's cool. That's handy. Yeah, it brings the whole package together. Really, yeah. You guys are solid, man. I'm excited for the album whenever you get it out. Let me know because that's fucking cool.
Absolutely, we'll do.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
We don't have a date for it.
No,
right now, but I like to think about it this way. If your listeners are familiar with how Valve puts out games, Half-Life 2, they put them out when they're ready.
Yeah.
When they come out, they're just amazing. So that's what you want to do. And honestly, like if you ever wonder why sometimes bands like get really popular and really good and then they do this, it's because right at this top, they're getting pressure to put things out more quickly in between touring cycles. Yeah. So they have to basically rush it. And that's what happens. That's what we want to avoid.
Yeah. Yeah. Take your time for sure. Take your time. Spare put out something good, then fucking work with that for a long time and not rush the next one. Makes total sense. You guys, you got a good point. A lot of guys just try and fucking throw as much shit as they can, especially nowadays, the way it's going when people are just buying, where people just listen to singles on Spotify. They don't really give a shit about albums. It seems like the attention span for some people that are listening to music isn't there anymore. Like,
yeah, that's the lightning in a bottle model, which has worked for some bands. I'm pretty sure Nirvana is probably a good example of that. I don't imagine that they spent 3 months per song.
No.
Rather they just kind of felt it out and just put out a bunch.
Yeah.
But that just, I don't know. For this almost like what we're doing kind of draws almost more on like orchestral style composition,
Yep.
where there's all these layers smashed onto each other, and you can't just wing that.
Well, you could, but it would sound like fucking shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys have self-respect. You've got too much self-respect for that.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish I had less, so I could just,
Get shit done super quick and really just hate yourself for it after.
Well, you just, I like, there's a lot of pop stuff that I like, but I can tell the stuff that's just thrown out there. And, it still can be popular. So I just, man, if I just knew how to twerk.
That is the only thing holding you back right now. If you could twerk, that would be it.
Got to work on that for the release show, man. That's
Twerk's away from a gold album and a Ferrari.
That's it. Just 2. You guys got to sell it a little bit. You got to twerk, and you got to write a Nickelback song, and you'll be fine.
Yeah,
You'll be fine. That's it.
That's
Everybody
right.
laughs. Everybody laughs at Nickelback, but Jesus Christ, do they have money?
hey, yep.
They sold their soul for one or 2 songs.
And in their defense, they're very technically proficient. They're very tight.
Yeah, well, they are tight.
They don't just they know how to play their instruments.
Yeah, that's true. They don't. Yeah, I guess so, for sure.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So I've never talked to you before. I haven't listened to the podcast before. What types of music are you into?
Am I into? I will listen to anything. If it's good, I will listen to it. I don't listen to country music. I
You
prefer
don't pop country, or you don't
no,
listen?
none. No pop country, no country. Oh, okay. I like Johnny Cash. Okay, I like that. I guess I like old country. Old
Conway.
country. Yeah. That sort of shit. Diecast, obviously. I love Diecast. So I gravitate more towards metal and hardcore. I like hip hop. I don't like the new hip hop. I'm stuck in like fucking 2002. Really, like new music doesn't do it for me anymore. You guys do. I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying like all the mainstream shit that comes up past like since like Roadrunner Records is gone and like Trustkill Records is gone and all that shit. You know what I mean? Or Victory Records even. I was talking about Victory Records last night for like an hour. It's like all those guys are fucking gone now, and all the good music went with it, in my opinion.
You're speaking my language, man. Those were the labels. I was buying all that, anytime.
Do you remember the samplers? The CDs?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Even before
Find it
that,
in Mayhem Fest parking lot.
Yep.
I was doing the Punkorama samplers too. I don't know if
Fucking
you're
right. Yes.
records, dude. That was some really great stuff. And yeah, there was a time, I don't know, it was about 10 years ago, and I'm just like, I feel like I had this massive collection of music, and I'm like, I'm kind of set for.
I'm good, dude. Like, I don't know what else I need.
Now that we're getting out there, I'm trying to look out a little more and look for new stuff because I know I'm in the same boat. So,
Yeah.
so I get
It's out there for sure. The benefit I have from what I'm doing is getting to hear bands like you guys, and I do a little bit of promotions and stuff like that for Curtain Call anyway. So I kind of have the inside scoop and shit like that. So I do hear fantastic shit, but you're not going to find it in the mainstream, right? Anybody that's listening, if they're not going to look around for it, it's there if you want to look for it. Like I've heard some of the best shit I've heard is all independent, underground fucking dudes in their bedroom just putting shit out. It's fucking awesome. That's where the soul and heart and talent is nowadays. It's not on the fucking radio anymore. It's not in your circus magazine and Hit Parader and all that, or Revolver or whatever you're into. It's not there.
It's true.
But those
you
fucking
gotta-
samplers.
Yeah, for those types of magazines, there seems to be like
Well, it was always new metal, so I was a big new metal fan back in my high school
Really?
days. One of those people, yeah, it's terrible. Yeah.
The big pants.
Oh, they were the
The
bigger
J and Co guys, come on,
stepped in a puddle and your day was just like, yeah.
it's fucked. It's over. Yeah.
Man, that's when the seashell necklaces were going strong and
Never did that. The pants, yeah, and the chain wallet and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, the ball chain necklaces and
Yep.
I wasn't cool enough for that, man. I was getting music from other people, and to be honest with you, like I was playing saxophone
Nice.
in those days,
Yeah.
and I like said to myself, I want to learn guitar or drums, but if I do, I never want to join a band because that's a huge waste of time.
Yeah.
I literally said that to people.
And you remind these guys of that every time you get together playing, just so you guys know this is a huge waste of fucking time, right? I could have been playing saxophone somewhere. This is bullshit.
Don't you forget it.
Don't you forget it. I don't like any of this.
I could be in a jazz combo.
Yeah. Doing something with my life. Thank you. That's hilarious.
Well, my mother always wanted me to be a lawyer, so really I should have been a lawyer.
Well, I don't know.
No, I didn't want to do that.
Well, I mean, there's money there for sure, but I don't know. I think stick to guitar, bud. You're doing pretty good.
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna
Keep it up.
Aaron, you may have a litigious future if you want to like go into the legal field, you know?
Yeah, no, no, I don't know. I do finance. I got my master's in business administration, and
What the fuck?
It's good for me. I don't know.
Wow. So if the band thing doesn't work out, you can still do something super cool in business, right?
Yeah.
That's the best advice you can give someone, to say, get your shit together first, then throw it all the way in a band.
Yeah, you gotta.
Well, if you want to be in a band, I feel almost like you have to it's almost like a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Like you either have to go tour when you're 18 or 19
Yep.
and work at Guitar Center making peanuts,
Yes.
or you have to create your foundation and then do it a little later on. But it almost feels like that middle ground really, really just fucks people over.
Yeah, it does. It does. You either start too early or too late. You got to get just right on time, right?
If
You go tour when you're fucking 17, 18 years old, you know what the fuck you're doing. Really.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, what's your
I've never toured, but what, you know.
You're just gonna sleep in your 93 Mazda,
Yeah.
and play house shows.
Yeah.
If you do it later, you're golden, hopefully. But if you're in that painful middle,
We did one tour a couple years ago, and I insisted on Airbnb each night because I'm like, we can afford it, and I want to be well rested and comfortable and enjoy this, and not just be sleeping in the backseat of the car. So yeah, and you know what? It was worth it. It was very enjoyable. And
Good. That's smart, man.
yeah, we
That's
wake
that
up.
business savvy coming in. There you go.
Oh yeah, for anybody listening, if you're in a band and you're just starting out, it's a business. Stop it.
Stop
It's a
it.
business.
Stop it. It's
Stop.
a business.
I can't do an Arnold. I think Aaron can do a better one than I can, but it is a business.
It's a business. Yeah. You got to treat it that way. You got to pay for your merch, and you got to have your merch pay for the band, and away you go.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's funny. Airbnb on the road. Fuck, man. That's like, what's an average night at an Airbnb worth?
so if you're going for like 4 people, and you want like, you can get one, you can either do like 2 bedrooms or even one with just like 2 beds or whatever, and you can get them for, I don't know, $80-$90 a night. So
That's not bad.
Like $2 a person, give or take. It wasn't too bad.
Wow.
Then you can stay with people network.
Yeah.
So, if if we ever come out your way on our way back down south, I'll stay with some people in, I don't know, Michigan.
Michigan. There you go.
Yeah.
Any
Actually,
listeners in Michigan, look
a
at
great band from Michigan called Bog Wraith you got to check out.
Who's that?
Bog Wraith.
Bog Wraith. I like that name.
Yeah.
Based on the name alone, I think I'll like it. Did you ever do that? Did you ever hear a band that's like, fuck, that's a fucking name? And then you check them out, it's like, yeah, that's really good. But I've never had a band that's had like a really cool name, been like super shitty. I'm trying to think.
I like the Austrian Death Machine.
They're great.
And I got conflicting feelings about Tim Lambesis and that whole deal. That was kind of a right there. But he's talented, that's for sure, and that's I'm a huge Arnold fan, so just those two, it was enjoyable.
You're sold, yeah.
So for the fact that we put in all these, like, we hide some references in our songs sometimes, whether it be to movies or games or comics, or sometimes we've referenced like the last album in the lyrics, but we haven't snuck in any Arnold references. Like, how haven't we? How?
Yeah, they left the Coda line in there somehow.
What are each of your favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies?
I'm probably Total Recall.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Total Recall and Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. Oh, Hercules in New York. I don't know if you ever saw that one. It was his first.
I never saw that.
It is absurd. You should check that out. It's not good at all, but they dubbed him. He was speaking English, but apparently his accent, this was from like 1969, 1970, something like that. Apparently,
perfect.
And so like they dubbed this really bad voice over him. It's hilarious. But yeah, definitely go with Total Recall.
Great.
I would have to say Predator, because that's the first movie I saw him in as a kid. I remember my dad watching this movie, and I came out to the living room, and I couldn't look away, except when people were getting gutted. Then I looked away because
that's crazy. Yeah, 7
or something. Yeah. But it was just there was this larger than life guy, literally and figuratively. Mm-hmm. And what made it too was that all the other characters were great. It wasn't just
Bobby Ventura and Carl Weathers.
You couldn't have had that movie be so great with Arnold and then just a bunch of bullshit like side actors.
You're right. They had the perfect cast.
Yeah.
Classic.
Carl Weathers especially, and I forget his name. The guy who also became a governor.
Not Jesse.
Not Jesse Ventura?
Not Jesse Ventura, the other guy.
The other guy, okay.
The Native American hunter guy.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck is his name?
Becoming a governor of some state.
I'd vote for him. I'm not American, but I'd vote for him. As long as he promises to just fucking, when you go to the poll, right?
Yeah. Every time he passes a law, just do something.
Guys, I don't know how many more times I can do this.
Yeah, this is getting out. Yeah. 4 more years. I'm running out of skin. 4 more years.
It's got to be a good law too. Like it can't be we're gonna change the way we do sidewalks.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm raising the speed limit in school zones. Yeah. That would be ridiculous.
My wife has never seen an Arnold movie ever.
What in the fuck? And yet you married her. I'm sorry.
I did.
That's good. That's fine.
I knew what I was getting into. It's fine.
That's fine. There you go.
Right. I have an opportunity.
You had an opportunity. There you go.
Yeah. I can tell her about why Arnold is numero uno and stick around and it's not a tumor and always coming.
Exactly.
Give her the whole shebang.
There you go. That's right. You got to do that. That's right. Yeah, man. Mine, I think the first movie I saw was Predator for sure, but my favorite is Terminator 2. That'll always be my favorite Arnold movie.
Good. Yeah.
And my favorite Terminator of any of the Terminators. I don't give a fuck. They should have stopped after Terminator 2, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that. The rest have been kind of forgettable. I like
Right.
these.
Did you see the most recent one? I haven't seen anything after Salvation.
Yes, I saw the recent one, and again, they should have stopped after Terminator 2.
Yeah, nothing's changed in there.
No.
Gotcha.
It's just like, how many times could you just, I don't know. I get the time travel and everything like that, but it's like, how many times can you just keep going back for John Connor and fucking, I don't know.
Well, the problem is that the concept is so fertile and so good. It's just that I think it's hard to execute well.
Mm-hmm.
And you're never gonna surpass the first. I kind of prefer the first one. I felt like the second one's great and I love it and it's fantastic. It's just it's very big and I felt like the first one was more real, more just right from the heart. I don't know.
It's got to be executed right, man. If Christopher Nolan was like, you know what, I'm just gonna save Terminator,
Yeah.
he could do it. He could make it work, especially with, I mean, you know, he's got like mindfuck movies with timeline changes and stuff under his belt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he could.
Yeah. Yeah, man, for sure. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Well, I have the shitty free Zoom, so I'm out of here in like 2 minutes, but I will resend another link if you guys want to talk comics and shit. I'm down.
Let's see what time it is.
It's like a 20 to 12 for you.
About another 15 minutes left, Amy.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll stop this here and I'll resend you a link.
All right.
Okay, cool, guys. All right. Just because my broke ass didn't have the fucking paid for Zoom I used to, then I thought, well, fuck it. I'll make some changes and not spend any more money than I have to. However, that was before I got sponsors. I'm going to pay some bills right now by saying, if you guys like records, you need to go to funkymooserecords.ca. Go to the checkout, use Limbo as the discount code, and you'll get 10% off your first order. There you go. Thanks, guys. That's it. Do you guys like vinyls? I fucking love vinyl.
I do everything online now.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm a wave guy.
You're a wave guy.
Yeah,
I like
I'm
waves too.
Dry, soulless, techie type.
Yeah.
I'm a walking spreadsheet. You know,
Walking spreadsheet.
about feelings and emotions because I don't know about that.
I like wave files. I like wave files better than some people. There you go.
I think in ones and zeros, and yeah. So,
well, it's easier to understand.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think too. So we're talking comics, man. What's your favorite comic? Leadwing, anything you want. I don't give a shit if it's Marvel, DC, whatever.
So I really, really like DC.
Okay.
Really
So
like DC.
is Batman your guy or?
I do like Batman. I'm more of a Green Lantern guy, and I've gained a lot of respect for Superman
Okay.
lately.
Yeah.
But honestly, Green Lantern is my number one because it's just so deep. There's so many possibilities. Green Lantern isn't just one guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
Wonder Woman is Diana.
Yeah.
That's as far. I mean, I'm sure there's variations, but Green Lantern is a title, not a person.
Right.
So there's all these sub stories, and it can get pretty weird. It can go to kind of different genres, a little more on the comedy side. There's a squirrel Green Lantern somewhere in the universe.
I've never heard of that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's a Green Lantern that's just like a blob. I'm pretty sure there's a blob guy. They're like super space cops.
Mm-hmm. Super space cops, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I did not know there was a blob Green Lantern. I knew about the whole it's a title and all this and everything like that for sure. And I do like the character. I think it's a fucking original character. It's better than some shit you'd see for sure.
Yeah.
But
it could be a new series if
yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, like you could you could create a Star Wars like
Universe around
universe
Green Lantern.
with Green Lantern, because there's the Red Lanterns and Black Lanterns and
Yellow Lanterns.
yeah.
Man.
Yeah. What about you? I didn't catch what you were into.
You know what? I'm a Marvel guy. And I
Okay.
like some DC. So I like who's my DC? Fuck it, Marvel. I hated Captain America for the longest time until I read The Death of Captain America. I specifically went and got The Death of Captain America because I was like, fucking rights, this son of a bitch, finally. And I read it and I was like, oh my God, he's so good. Damn you, Captain America.
Is that the one where he says Hail Hydra?
No, that's not
No.
it.
Okay.
No, that's a different one.
Well, I didn't spoil it for something.
No. Oh, spoiler alert. Yeah, Captain America, and there's a whole Hydra thing, and yeah, it's fine. That's good. I like the anti-heroes too. I like Venom, Punisher. Punisher's probably my favorite, actually.
I used to really be into the Max Comics Punisher. So there was like two Punishers, and the Max Comics one was the more adult Punisher.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
I just liked it because he's not a hero really. He's just a guy with a lot of problems. So it's more of like a character based. Like if you think the Punisher is a hero, you might want to think about that.
Yeah,
again.
he's not
kind of like Rorschach from Watchmen.
Yeah, absolutely. Rorschach's it's a tie. Rorschach and Dr. Manhattan for me from the Watchmen.
Yeah. Dr. Manhattan, super OP for fun, for funsies.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend of mine about Marvel versus DC power levels.
Okay.
And what we kind of arrived at was, it seems like the power level layout for Marvel is pretty linear.
Mm-hmm.
You have you have Magneto in here somewhere, and then like Galactus or whoever here, and then DC instead it's like flat and then up.
Yeah.
So you have like a lot of Batman to Superman, or Batman to like Wonder Woman, Green Lantern types, and then Dr. Manhattan and Darkseid, like
Doomsday,
up to the roof, and Doomsday. So Marvel does, I think, a little bit better job of evening these people out.
I think so, but then who did they say was the most powerful hero in the Marvel universe? Didn't they say it was either Captain Marvel, or the Scarlet Witch? I think they said.
Oh, there's no way.
You don't think Scarlet Witch?
Way. There has to no. I don't know if I buy that. There's got to be some like Galactus plus.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. That they're talking even better than Galactus. And I was like, oh, I thought Galactus was like it. I thought he was like the final boss and shit. He's like the Goro of fucking Marvel, or Shang Tsung, I guess.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the next guy, like the next Marvel cinematic phase. I guess it's supposed to build up to Galactus.
Ooh, that's fun.
Dormammu is pretty high. I don't know if he's quite like Galactus level, but he's pretty high up there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think Scarlet Witch is. I mean, she's stronger than Captain America, but I don't guess.
Yeah. You should read the House of M if you haven't. That's a good comic.
I've never heard of it.
The Scarlet Witch completely dismantles the universe like that.
On purpose.
Gone. Everything is reality no longer exists as you know it. And the Scarlet Witch did it somehow. I don't know. It's fucking good. It's really good.
So I don't know if this is Marvel or DC, but maybe this is DC. There is one, I think this is DC. There's one person more powerful than Dr. Manhattan, and it's either, I think the writers are a character in DC.
Okay.
But Dr. Manhattan is not that far off in power because I don't know if it was the New 52 exactly, but basically the storyline currently is that the comics happen and then some Flashpoint thing happens.
Yes.
I don't know if it's Flashpoint exactly, but basically when Dr. Manhattan says that he's bored with his life and he's just going to go create more life,
Yeah.
the idea is that he just creates the DC universe.
Oh.
So then I guess at some point the Flash goes into the Speed Force and sees Dr. Manhattan creating other things. So the Speed Force is that empty space between all those dimensions. So that's kind of interesting. Jesus is technically DC.
Jesus is
I
DC?
did not realize that until recently. Yeah.
I did not know that. He's fucking Batman.
I don't know. They haven't made a comic of what
Jesus
he's
is DC.
That's by inference because Lucifer is DC.
DC. That's right.
All the Norse gods are Marvel.
Yeah.
So by default, Jesus, I guess, is DC.
I love it. You got a lot of good ideas here that you better sell to DC, like the whole Green Lantern Star Wars universe. You should sit on that. You got your business advisor right there, and also
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah, Aaron, you got to look at the contracts before I sign it. If anybody that works at DC is watching this, please hire me. Sorry, I'm gonna shut up. I feel like I've been ranting.
No, that's fun. And now, Aaron, what's your favorite comic hero or anti-hero or anything you like?
I'm just the Walking Dead fan. That's when I was a kid, I collected. I don't know if you remember those Marvel cards that they used to have.
Yeah, right, I do.
So I had a bunch of those, but I mean, big collector, but none of the specific characters really were too big for me. But definitely Walking Dead. I love the whole universe. All the books, the shows, the spin-off shows. That's kind of my just a big zombie fan in general.
He's a big horror fan. So
Big horror
fan. I don't know that shit. That's Aaron. That's Aaron.
Yeah, that's my my area of interest.
Horror movies. Hey, what's your favorite horror movie?
Oh man,
One of.
I'm a huge Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, dude. That was reading the production stuff, like what went on behind the scenes there, but I mean they just talk about like lightning in a bottle. That was huge. It was like no budget, and it's just like the most realistic feeling horror movie to me. I love some of the old George Romero zombie movies, The Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead. There's an Italian director named Lucio Fulci who did kind of around the same time some zombie movies. They were just called like Zombie 2, Zombie 3.
Okay.
They're really good too. It's different style, but I really love those.
The zombies stop for espresso occasionally.
Yeah, they're big Hellraiser fan. I loved the first Hellraiser movie was great, and Nightmare on Elm Street, all the franchise. I could go on forever. I love them all.
Well, the classics, that's good. See, I get that. I can't keep up with all the new shit. It's like, I like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and all that stuff. Like Halloween and all that. I'm good with that.
Also, I really dig the Japanese horror movies. I like the American remakes, but I've seen a few of the originals too, like The Grudge and The Ring, Pulse, The Eye, those ones, and they're creepy, man. They're spooky. Oh, while we're on it, probably the scariest movie I've honestly ever seen. People either completely agree or completely disagree. It's called It Follows. I don't know if you heard of that one.
No.
It's just the idea of it is a nightmare, but it's you're cursed, and there's this thing that's just following you wherever you go, and it doesn't run or anything. It just walks, and it looks like someone you might know, like a family member or a friend or something like that, or it could be a complete stranger, but you're just sitting there, and you see it off in the distance and it's coming up to you. You can get in a car, you can drive to the beach or whatever, and that's what people try and do. And sure enough, 2 days later, it's there to get you. Like, it just doesn't stop. So that one is really kind of messed up my adulthood. Can't get it out of my head.
You should check out creepypastas, man.
Creepypasta.
I've heard about those, yeah.
I've heard about that.
A friend of mine was telling me about one. He wouldn't shut up about it. He just loved it. It was called Cousin Johnny.
Okay.
And it's like, all right, no, sorry. There was Cousin Johnny and there was another one. It was basically a killer doll. And basically it doesn't kill you as long as you're looking at it. So like if you blink or look away, it just like snaps your neck. So they have it like in this government facility, like surrounded by all these expendable dudes who are just like forced to look. Somebody has to look at it.
At all times, yeah. I like it.
At all times. And like if you go in the room and look at it, well, now you're stuck.
You have to keep looking at it.
Yeah. The concept.
I like stuff like that conceptually where it makes you think and it's a little different. So yeah.
Jesus. That's wild, man. Well, It Follows sounds cool. I'll have to fucking check that out.
Yeah.
And I'll check out the creepypasta thing. That's fucked.
Yeah, there was some name for it. It was like SPC level or some like acronym, but they're all ranked.
Okay.
So Cousin Johnny is like one level, and then the doll is another thing.
Okay.
Cousin Johnny is like a demon that just for some reason really likes Catholic events like weddings, christenings, all that. And it shows up and everybody somehow knows who this person is. And it looks different to everyone. But if you're not a part of the event and you see him, it's like some really horrifying thing, and it speaks in babbles, but you always know what it's saying, and it just went on, and it was a total mindfuck. Yeah, Aaron, gotta look that up.
Jesus, you guys, that's crazy. That's wild. That's too scary for me, man. I don't know. Any church shit is just like too fucking scary for me. I'm done. Unless it's End of Days with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I like that. That's good.
What was the line? If it's between God and my Glock, I choose my Glock. Some line like that.
Well, fellas, I appreciate you guys taking the time to talk to me tonight. It's been fucking awesome.
Thank you for having us. Just a heads up, we have a new single will be coming out probably in less than a month, but
Nice.
It's in the works, so keep an eye out. And yeah, thank you for having us.
Thanks, man. That was great. I wish you guys all the best with finishing recording with that guy that did those shitty little bands nobody's heard about, and
Yep, he's making it happen.
Having us and never look away from the doll.
I won't. Jesus Christ. It's
Well,
fucking crazy.
Thanks again.
I appreciate it, guys.
Take care.
Take care, Aaron. Thanks, though. Nice to meet you guys.
You too.
Take care, guys. That was an Aaron from A Fitting Revenge, and I had a good time. Those guys were so cool to talk to. Learned a lot of stuff I'm never going to watch on whatever creepypasta they're talking about. I think Jeremiah was telling me about that too, but I'm never going to do it. And yeah, solid band. Once again, you guys, this episode was brought to you by FunkyMooseRecords.ca. If you go to the website, get to the discount code section at the checkout, you type in Limbo. That's going to get you 10% off your first order. They got a hell of a selection. You should go check them out. So thank you very much. One more to go yet. Take care.